Hey everyone, welcome back. So today's Wednesday. Today was not a good day in the markets. We were pretty much red all over the board here. So we'll take a look at it. Other news that we want to take a look at is there was another Bitcoin Futures ETF approved by the SEC today. We'll take a look at it. There's a little difference to it. So we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at also BitPay is now accepting Lightning Network payments for BTC. We'll take a look at that story really quick as well, and then we'll get into DMG and Hive. They both provided their their production updates for March. So we'll take a look at those as well. And as always, not financial advice. You know the drill. I'm investing in the following companies and coins. And let's get into the stocks themselves here, the miners. Let's see how they did today. Wasn't a good day. So here's Annie. Annie was down 11.46% to $2.24. It was not a good day for the miners nor for Bitcoin, but there's possibly a good reason for it, and it might be a good thing going forward. So Argo was down 3.33% to 90 cents. Bitfarms was down 6.55% to $3.28. It's up slightly in the after hours right now. Cleanspark was down 6.74% on the day to $11.20. Core Scientific was down 4.7% to $8.32, up slightly in after hours. Digihost was down 5.66% to $3.67. DMG was down 1.01% to 52 cents. Hive was down 5.45% to $1.91. Hut 8 was down 5.54% to $4.94. Iris Energy was down 5.99% to $14.28. I mean, you're obviously seeing a pattern here. We're all in the red. After hours, we're up a little bit on Iris as well. Luxxfolio was down 6.12% to 27 cents. Marathon was down 7.9% to $24.19. Mawson was down 9.63% to $4.69. And Riot was down 8.16% to $17.66. Everybody was down on the day. Let's take a look at Bitcoin here. Bitcoin obviously fell pretty sharply today. It was down about 4.5% on the day. It is now at 43,499. It obviously, let's take a look at the 1 hour chart here. We'll do a little bit better here. But it obviously fell below our support here at 44,700. It touched it twice, touched it back here, went up, touched it again 2 more times, and then obviously fell below it and continued falling below it. The good thing is it kind of bounced off slightly off of the 50-day moving average here, the green line, and it went up. We're still bouncing down a little bit, so we'll see if we retest this 50-day moving average here and go up forward. Looking at the daily chart, I want to point something out to you guys here. You can see here that we came pretty close to it here on the wick on the chart. RSI has come down, obviously, which is good because we were a little high here in the last couple of days, but we weren't too bad. But it's at 47 right now. Last time we were at this range, we were right around here, which at that price we were at 39,900. So right now we are at 43,551. So that is still a good increase from where we were. And I think it's a good trend. I think we had just a healthy pullback right now. Obviously, the market got a little bit spooked because of what the Fed said, along with, what was her name? I'm drawing a blank on her name right now. Was it Janet? Well, I can't think of her name right now. But she kind of scared the markets as well, saying that, inflation is going to be a little bit off the charts. They're going to have to obviously do things to hamper the growth and everything else via interest rate hikes and things like that. So that got the market all jittery, and it fell, obviously, not only in the stock market, but in Bitcoin as well. But I think this was a healthy pullback here, not too concerned about it. The only thing that's going to happen here probably is that we're going to extend the number of days that we get the red line, which is the 20-day moving average, crossing the blue line, which is the 200-day moving average here. That may be extended out a couple more days before that happens going forward, which I think is going to lead to a nice little bull rally after that. So that's Bitcoin right now. Ethereum, same thing. Ethereum fell about 6%. It's at $3,203. It is now bouncing off of the 200-day moving average, the blue line here, you can see it. And it has obviously fallen on the RSI to 52. Last time we were at that range, we were right around here, which was a price of $2,770 roughly. So we're up almost, $450 from where we were from that point. So like I said, I think this is just a healthy pullback. Nothing major, unless this continues going down lower, then we may have something to worry about. But right now, I don't think that's the case. All right, so let's take a look at the first story here. SEC approves a new Bitcoin Futures ETF. So the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission has allowed NYSE, ARCA, and I'm going to butcher this name, Ethereum to issue a Bitcoin Futures exchange-traded fund. Notably, the Ethereum and NYC Arca filed the application under the Securities Exchange Act of 1934, filing a 19B-4 form with the SEC. The already approved Bitcoin Futures ETFs filed by other companies were under the Investment Company Act of 1940, which allows a slightly different regulatory pathway to approval. So an approval under the Securities Act of 1933, under which the Ethereum's filing falls, may potentially open the door for a spot Bitcoin ETF. Bloomberg analyst James Seifert said on Twitter earlier this year, proponents of crypto ETFs have argued that like situations must be treated alike, he said, citing an argument for crypto company Grayscale, which filed to convert its Grayscale Bitcoin fund GBTC to an ETF. Grayscale is a subsidiary of CoinDesk parent company Digital Currency Group. So I thought that was kind of interesting that, this might be the pathway for us to get a spot Bitcoin ETF. If that's the case, that would be great news. But I still don't think that's going to happen until we get some further regulatory framework in place as far as what the SECs actually want for investor securities and things like that. So we'll see how this plays out as well. Next is BitPay. BitPay payment processor announces support for Lightning payments. So this is on the second layer of Bitcoin, right? The original blockchain for Bitcoin is the layer 1. This is the second layer that's just below it. So Bitcoin Payment Services, BitPay has announced immediate support for the Lightning Network through its payment processing platform, allowing merchants that leverage this platform to receive payments from Lightning wallets and enabling more cost-effective, cheaper Bitcoin transactions through the layer 2 protocol. BitPay merchants can now receive payments from Lightning-enabled wallets like Cash App and Strike. Per a press release shared with Bitcoin Magazine, consumers now have a low-cost alternative when paying with Bitcoin at a BitPay-enabled merchant. This is obviously good news. We want to see adoption and things like that, things that enable quick and speedy and very low fee payments for Bitcoin, and this is one of those that's working out really well. PacSun is excited to be one of the first BitPay partners to accept Bitcoin payments using the Lightning Network, said Michael Relic, the co-CEO of the retail clothing brand. According to the release, the Bitcoin Lightning Network provides our customers with instant payments and exceptionally low network fees and creates more opportunity for all holders of Bitcoin to shop online, which I agree, which is great to see. So this is obviously another next step in the adoption and everything else that we're seeing, across the world here. So here's another thing. Lightning with a wide array of merchants that accept Bitcoin payments through BitPay, spanning hundreds of millions of people across more than 200 countries worldwide. So, right, adoption. We want this. This is good. So finally, let's get into DMG. Or actually, we'll get into Hive first, and then we'll get into DMG as far as the production numbers for March. Here's something that was interesting. Hive is pleased to announce production figures for the company's global Bitcoin and Ethereum mining operations for the month of March 2022, with a BTC HODL balance of 2,568 Bitcoin and 16,196 Ethereum as of April 3rd, 2022. In addition, the company is pleased to announce two milestones and accomplishments of reaching 2 exahash of Bitcoin mining and 6 terahash of Ethereum mining this month. So very nice growth in the terahash growth for Ethereum mining, and a slightly nice increase in exahash. They didn't go up as high as I thought they were going to go, but still, nonetheless, it is an improvement. They did obviously mine more Bitcoin, which is great to see as well. So from the AC mining, they mined 278.6 BTC. They reached 2 exahash of Bitcoin mining capacity. This is the A6. And then this part I'm here a little bit confused by. So 2,459 Ethereum produced. And then down here, they see the company production of Ethereum from GPU mining, including selective optimizations of GPU hash rate, has yielded a total Ethereum production of 2,549. I don't know which one is correct, whether the 2,549 or the 2,459. So that's the little discrepancy here between the two. 4.58 terahash of Ethereum mining capacity at the beginning of March, and then an increase to 6.1 terahash of Ethereum mining capacity at the end of March. So great job there, obviously getting that up. And then we'll go down here. So the company's total Bitcoin equivalent production in March 2022 was 447.4 BTC equivalent produced, 14.4 BTC equivalent produced per day on average, which is good. 3.3 exahash of BTC equivalent hash rate. So this is BTC hash rate plus the equivalent of Ethereum hash rate as of March 31. So this is good. They're getting there. And then 1 year ahead hash rate growth outlook This is the chart they're using. They're saying that the company will be at, it's right here. The company will be at 6.2 exahash of BTC equivalent hash rate in 1 year, up from the 3.3 exahash of BTC equivalent hash rate today. So that's really good. They're getting it to 6.2. This is obviously a combination of Ethereum hash rate and ASIC mining for Bitcoin. And I know they are also going to be getting the Intel miners, so we'll have to see how that's going to improve that. And I'm not sure if that also includes it in here as well. We'll take a look at the numbers I have for them. Ethereum HODL to fund Intel new chips to mine BTC. So this is the new miners that they're going to be making. So over the past year, our Ethereum HODL position outperformed our Bitcoin HODL. Ethereum is much more volatile than BTC. And once again, we have used the volatility to generate capital to expand our operations. We have sold down our Ethereum holdings to fund our Intel strategic relationship and the building of our rigs. We have traded out approximately 10,000 Ethereum coins to fund the expansion in our BTC channel. Further, we have expanded our daily Ethereum production to replace coins we have sold, which is good. Our long-term strategy is grow our BTC footprint while using our Ethereum to help with this ambition. Our Ethereum production is allowing us to generate the highest margins from proof of work in the business. And then they go on to say, we are not concerned about the 6-year narrative that Ethereum will become only a proof of stake in the immediate future, as evidenced by the robust and secure proof of work consensus mechanism has helped Ethereum process more transactions in USD volume at 11.4 trillion US, where Visa has done 10.4 trillion in 2021. This one is a tough one because there are signs that Ethereum might be switching over to proof of stake come Q2, Q3 of this year. We'll see if the can gets pushed down the road, but they're getting really close to that. So we'll just have to see, obviously. And I think part of the reason the stock isn't doing as well is because investors are just cautious about that possibility. If they do stop mining, obviously, Ethereum is going to be a huge dip in their revenue for them. But they obviously could do other things with those machines. They go on to say, our strategies to mine both BTC and Ethereum has allowed Hive to generate some of the highest returns on investment capital for our shareholders while expanding our revenue and coin production. And then here's an Intel update. So recently, Intel has published more specifics on introduction of the Intel Block-Scale ASIC, a game-changing event for the BTC miners. Intel has only made this chip available to select customers, of which Hive Blockchain is one of 4 customers globally. The Intel Block-Scale will advance energy-efficient hashing for proof-of-work consensus using green energy. Further, their US-designated high-performing chips are up to 26 joules per terahash power efficiency at a very competitive and attractive price that fits into our strategy to generate high returns on invested capital for our shareholders. So that is one thing that we just don't know. There were some speculations it might be half of what the Bitmain ASIC miners are. If that's the case, they would be about $5,000 or so. And that, I don't know if that also includes the casing, obviously, and then you need the chip boards, the hash boards, the controller for it, the fans, everything else. We just don't know what that's going to cost. So we'll have to keep an eye on it to see what that actually entails. And then they go on to talk about the network difficulty. Bitcoin increased by 4%, Ethereum by 2% in the month of March, and that is it. So pretty good growth for him for the month of March. Obviously, Bitcoin production was really good, and we'll take a look at it here right now. So for March, obviously Bitcoin equivalent was 447.4, which is valued at about 20.3 million, based on the closing price of Bitcoin at the end of March. So that is a nice increase of about 70.3 more Bitcoins than in February. And I believe it's the best month as far as production goes. So that's really good. Great growth in March for that. So nicely done there. And then I updated the institutions as far as how much are holding and any analyst ratings. And we did get an update. So we have now 138 institutions compared to 90 the month before. And shares has gone up to 42.2 million shares. So that's about 10.3% of the shares owned by institutions. We did get an upgrade to a strong buy from a buy here from last month. And the only thing, the only thing is that the target price has gone down to $2.80 from $3.93 for the high, average, and low. And we'll take a look at it to see where that is in line with my thinking here. So for the month of March, I got them at 20.3 million roughly, pretty close to what they have here. And that is based on adding miners to their fleet and increasing the revenue made on Ethereum, because they did obviously increase the hash rate here. So that is right there. In February, I had it at 6.4 million. I put in March 7.8 million because of the increase. Excuse me, and to get the bottom number to match up with their current value for Bitcoin and Bitcoin equivalent, basically. So here are the miners that we put in. Let me see if I can get these over here. So we put in basically 250, 250, and 170 of these 98 terahash miners in here for the month. Also put in 300 of the 100 terahash miners here. And I believe, we also put in 60 of the 74 terahash. I just don't know what exactly they put in, but it got us really close to what they reported as their hash rate of 2 exahash, which is right there. 2000 petahash is 2 exahash. So we're right there on the money. That is obviously going to yield more revenue going forward in each month. I did have those only for 28 days on average, mining roughly. And that seems to work out pretty favorably as far as getting the numbers correct on that. Taking a look at the Bitcoin HODL position here. So Bitcoin HODL is 2,568. BTC value is about 117 million. And their HODL to market cap is about 12%. So each share has about 23 cents of HODL position in it right now. The stock price is obviously $1.91 right now. Market cap is about 981 million, really close to $1 billion. And shares out based on market cap divided by share price, we're getting about 514 million shares right now outstanding in it. So looking at the revenue for the last 3 quarters, we got 158 million combined with this quarter potentially of 52.7 million. We're looking at 226 million total. Then we're using the 75% net income from gross revenue, which would give us 169 million basically. And we're using a price to earnings multiple of 6 right now to get them to $1.98, which is kind of where they are right now. But if we actually jack this up, where I think they should be closer to 10, maybe 15. At 15, they should be closer to 4.95, obviously, per share price. And then 20, the only miners that are getting 20 are the ones that are growing a lot this year, going up above 10 exahash, like Riot, Mara, and some of the other guys. But that would give us 660 on the price here for the shares. And then obviously for the full year, we're still looking at about 692 if everything stayed the same going forward. No new miners were installed. Bitcoin price stayed the same. And that's one thing I forgot to update was the price of Bitcoin, I think. Yep, because Bitcoin right now is at, let's do that right now. Bitcoin is at 43,296. Let's see how that will change. 43,296. 43,296. All right, let's take a look at Hive. So didn't change much on that right now. So 660. And then if we go back down to 6 PE, we would be at $1.98, which we're pretty close to that anyways right now. So that didn't really change much of anything there. It will obviously change things going forward, but not a lot. So 674 right now for the full year if everything stayed the same on that. And right now, current hash rate is 2 exahash. Future hash rate of them at 3.945. That does not include, obviously, their GPU miners, which are about 1.3 exahash for a total of 3.3 exahash right now. They are about 50% operational. We don't know on the Intels when those are going to be brought in or how many they're going to purchase and what the exact hash rate is going to be on those things. So we'll update that as news comes available for that. But that's it. Obviously, a nice March update from them. Best thing was obviously the Bitcoin production was greatly up, which was nice, and getting the miners installed and the Ethereum miners up to the 6 point something terahash on those. So, in my opinion, still undervalued greatly, as well as most of the other miners are as well here. Right now, Bitcoin is kind of in limbo, and investors are kind of weighing that as well. So. Take it for what it is. All right, let's take a look at DMG here. DMG is pretty simple, and we'll make it relatively quickly. So DMG posted on their Twitter page, key March 2022 statistics. They mined 74.83 Bitcoin. Daily average is 2.41 Bitcoins per day. Hash rate added was 90 petahash. Miners added was 884. Hash rate reach was 598 petahash. March miners arrived at the end of the month. April is expected to be late in the month or into the next month as well. Expansion is developing as planned. So there's the update from them. Not much to go over with. So let's take a look at the numbers here for DMG, and we'll call it a day. So DMG obviously reported 74.83, which is their best month that I have recorded here. So far, they were up 11.78 Bitcoins mined this month compared to last month, which was good, and also an 18.68% increase on that, so a value of about 3.4 million in USD. Institutions was also up, so 3 more institutions bought in, 4.2 million shares now, and 2.55% owned. We still only have 1 buy rating, and the price on that rating has gone up to $1.59 across the board here. So that's good as well. Looking at the miners that were installed here for the March month, so they reported 886, I believe it was. Right, was that 884? Sorry, 884 miners. So that would represent 136 of these 93 terahash miners, 133 and 15 of these 90 terahash miners, and then we got basically 600 of these 100 terahash miners being installed for the month of March, which gets us pretty close to what they're saying, 598. I got them 597, which is pretty close to that right now, based on the number of miners that they added. Then looking at the numbers here, Bitcoin HODL, obviously they don't HODL anything. It looks like they use everything for payment. They sell pretty much everything and then fund their operations that way. And currently they are at 597, 598. Future hash rate is about 1.6. So they're about 38% right now operational. Average hash per miner is about 91, which is pretty good. And stock price right now is at 52. Market cap is 110 million. And so we have about 211 million shares out. I have it set right now to PE of 6. And we're looking at the last 3 quarters. We're at about 16 million for those. Combine those with this current quarter, which is going to be about 10 million roughly. We just don't know on their hosting, what they're going to be making for the hosting part of it. So that's might be a little bit low, I think. Possibly they might make a little bit more on the hosting. So that might increase a couple 100,000 there. Combine that for the last 3 quarters, we end up with 26 million basically for the last 4 quarters. And using the 75% net income from gross revenue, that would give us 19.5 million. And a price to earnings multiple of 6, that'd be 55 cents, which is kind of where they're at right now. So I just want to take a look at to see where they are trading right now on the price to earnings multiple. But ideally, I think they should be closer to 10, around possibly 92 cents per share, if not a little bit higher, like $1.20 or something like that, based on where they are and where they're going to be. And it all depends, obviously, if Bitcoin price goes up to 100,000, DMG and the rest of the miners are going to be worth a heck of a lot more because they're just going to start pumping. What else can I show you here? I think that was basically it. I mean, really good growth for them. They were up, hash rate was only 10 petahash, 10.5 petahash last month in February. This month they almost had 86 petahash, which is good. A lot more miners being installed, 884 compared to 118, which is good. And then we'll see obviously how April holds out for them right now. So overall, great progress by them. They are obviously one of the smaller ones that I cover here, along with Digihost. But it's great to see that they're still expanding and growing, and we'll see how this all plays out going forward. But right now, yeah, undervalued in my opinion from where they should be actually priced at. So that is it. Let me know what you guys thought of it all. Pretty quick and easy today, not as long as the last 2 videos were. Coming up, we'll obviously take a look at what's going on in the Bitcoin conference down in Miami. We'll see if there's anything interesting on that. We'll cover that if anything is, interesting. And then I'm still working on Bit Digital for a deep dive on them. That should be out later on this week or next week, getting all the numbers straightened out for that. And that is it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe. It helps me out tremendously. I really appreciate you guys watching. So thank you so much for doing that. And then I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a wonderful evening. Until then.